All right, Georgia Jim sent me this Mul-T-Lock interactive plus, and it's been giving me a hard time on camera. I turned off the camera, went to pick it, and it got it right open again. But I've taken a few takes on camera, and it's just not cooperating with me. It's a lot like the Classic Pro in that it has 5 pin-in-pin chambers in it, but this one has an interactive pin, and if you lift that up, you can see something's going to push on the bottom and it's going to lift that pin higher than the key could take it in the keyway. So there's interactive. It has these counter milled outer key pins that catch the inner driver pins. Supposedly on the Classic Pro they were there as well, but I didn't feel them. But on here they come into play and they're just a beast to deal with. So I'm going to counterclockwise tension because I'm going to pick clockwise, and that will help me deal with outer spools with this Onestong pick. You can see it's really thick here. That's kind of the original thickness, and then it gets thin towards the front because I've Dremeled, filed, and sanded down. They're really good handles and really nice, strong picks. So I like these a lot. All right, go to pick, and pin 1, click there. Pin 2's binding. See if I can get under it and lift it. Click there. Pin 3. Little click there. Pin 4. Little click there. Pin 5 is lifting. All right, we dropped into a bit of a false set there. Go back to the beginning. 1 is loose. 2 feels like it fell down. Gotta click out at 2. 3 feels like a binder. I'm having trouble getting underneath it. It's giving us counter rotation. Lifting, lifting. It feels like I'm stuck at the edge of the spool. I'm going to try to get over that gently. There we go. But I've lost my false set. Nothing on 2. I'm questioning whether I lifted 3 far enough. Don't want to lift it too far. It might be torpedo key pins that I'll get stuck on. Yeah. All right. Dropped into false set. Let's see if I got 3. All right. 1 fell down. A lot. Counter rotating 1. 1 is set. 2 is still set. 3, it feels like it fell down, so I'm going to lift it up again. There we go. Click out of 3, drop back into our false set. That's good news. All right. 1 is set. 2, clicked it up a bit further. That's our interactive. Dropped us into a further false set. 1 is a little bit binding here. All right, there we go. Click out of 1, 2, 3, 4. Feels like it might be just inners now. And 5. Okay. Dropped really deep false set. I think we're just stuck on some inner or maybe the interactive pin. 3, 4, 5 is counter rotating. There we go. Even further into false set. So that was 5. I think it was like a spooled I just set. Now we must be on inners. 3, 4, and 5. No. So it could be the interactive. Let's check the interactive again. There we go. It's the interactive. And we're open. So the interactive had to go really high up there. Now, I didn't get explained a little bit about the spooled outer key pins. And what will happen is that you'll have a inner driver pin with a lip on it get caught in that counter milling of the outer key pin. And what will happen is when you push on the inner key pin, it'll push up on the inner driver key pin, and it'll lift the outer key pin with it. So when you lift on the inner key pin, you'll see the outer key pin moving at the same rate as the inner key pin, even though you're only pushing on the inner key pin. And that's how you can tell that you are stuck in the counter milling of the outer key pin. And what you want to do is release all tension, maybe even counter rotate manually some, and kind of jiggle at that inner key pin until it goes up into the driver a bit, and then you can add your tension, and then you can pick that outer key pin. That's kind of how you go about that. So let's go ahead and take this guy apart He's been kind of a beast on camera. He's been giving me a pain, but got him open. So let's see. Take this out, bring in some gutting tools, and we'll lock it back up. There we go. I don't know if I showed the key, but there's the key. So we got, I haven't looked inside this. I want to see those, I want to see that counter milling, because it does give a big pain. And I didn't look closely at the Classic Pro for the counter milling because I didn't know it existed, because I didn't feel it at all. But this one, I definitely know existed. I just dropped the C-clip. I don't see it, but I'll find that when I go to put it back together. Couldn't have really gone anywhere, just fell to my left. All right, I'll put this in. Don't really know what's in there, so I will shim it. I'm pretty sure I know what's in there, but I'll shim it. And the pin and pins, it can be hard to get a shim in, so you want to put it like diagonal and then fish your way under each one diagonally. And definitely want to shim it if it's not your lock. Don't want to brick more Georgia Jim's locks. Push that out. Try to catch any sort of passives that might be on the side. There's no passives on there. There are holes for passive pins, but there are no passive pins in there. And I can see, yeah, there's no cuts on the side of the key. All right, so 5. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the plug itself, there's nothing going on. On number 2. Number 2 has some sort of counter milling on the outside of 2. So let's see if the driver on 2 will interact with that. The outside driver on 2. We'll go in a little bit. All right, number 1. Oh, get the shim out. Number 1 is spooled. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. Number 2, spooled. Number 3 is spooled. Go from the other side. Number 5 is got this single serration in the middle. I think that was tripping me up a bit. I think I saw that same thing on the Classic that I just picked. It had that single like serration in the middle of it, and that was that definitely tripped me up a little bit on this one. And there's that. And then let's arrange these key pins around and take a closer look at what's going on. So this one here, which way does this go? It goes like this. This is just a standard, but it's got some sort of like serration around the bottom of it for whatever reason. This next one is a torpedo. So if you overset 4, I think I did that a few times picking this on camera before I got the good take. Again, with that little serration on the bottom. I think, oh yeah, somebody's pointing out that if it was like AMV or it was Darren or something, if you have a little serration, that marks that these are the counter milled outer key pins. That's what that little serration is indicating. So all of them have that little indication on them. Let's take a look inside one of these, and it should have a little serration in there, or a little counter milling. Indeed, you can just see there's a little counter milling in there, and that should catch the inner key pin here like that, and it does. So it traps it. You see, if I pull this way, it pulls it with it. So that's tricky to get out of there. That's pretty cool. And then the second chamber had counter milling on the outside of this, but the outside of this has nothing. It would be maybe a spool would catch in there or something, but no, that's just a standard. So we got spool, standard, spool, and then the single serration on that. And then here we got these, okay, number 2 Number two, oh, number twos are interactive there. That we had to lift really, really high. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that lip at the top of the key pin, like these other ones do. That lip shouldn't do anything. It's the lip on the driver pin that's going to catch inside the outer key pin. So that is the Mul-T-Lock Interactive Plus. Thanks, Georgia Jim. Thanks, everyone. Bye.